Hi, Mike Darda here again at Century 21, and this is the next segment in your training course on how to sell your home. And on this one, we're going to cover the important documents regarding the sale. We've attached many of those documents that you can simply download for your own use. And the first one we're going to talk about is the actual sales contract. And you think about it, a buyer wants to make you an offer. And what if you don't have the contract there, right? That means you got to either set another time to get together or make an appointment with your attorney. Precious days are lost in the process of getting that buyer to write an offer. As an agent, I know that the buyer's offer is the very best when written right there when they fall in love with the home, preferably right in the house. We'll find they even make a lower offer if we drive them back to the office and take them out of the home. So timing is very important. Now, when you write the contract, there's a lot of details that are absolutely critical to your closing. Not just the price, of course, and the closing date, but consider the deposit. You want to make sure that they have an ample deposit down. Look at how much they're financing, how much they're putting down, or are they paying cash? People paying cash or putting 20% down can maybe put a 10% deposit down. So feel free to ask them for it. You can always lower it if you need to. Closing date. If they're financing, you want to pay particular attention to that closing date, because in Florida, the day of closing typically belongs to the buyer. It's not your house anymore, and you have to be out at that time. A lot of people think they have time after closing to move out. That's just not the case. So make sure that the date they have their loan approved is early enough that you have time to get organized and move out after that loan approval. Otherwise, you'll find you'll be spending money and making commitments without even knowing if the deal's going to go through. Another area, of course, is financing. If they are, you want to make sure that you've got proof of funds. If they're going to a bank, of course, you want a pre-qual letter that shows that they are good for the money, or at least meet the bank's guidelines to get the loan. Inspections. This is a very big loophole. A lot of buyers use this as an exit strategy on the contract. So you really want to button this one down. Make sure the inspections are, say, no more than 10 days after the closing, 10 days after the offer is written, that it have to be done. And the reason that's important is if you don't put that deadline in, you can get right down to a couple days before closing and they can still back out of the deal. You don't want that loophole. Limit your liability for repairs. A lot of contracts have in their percentages 1.5%, 2%, 3%. And if they find something wrong, you could be on the hook for thousands of dollars. So you may want to limit those liabilities to maybe $500 or $1,000. They feel good, they got the right to inspect your home, and you're protected. And of course, if it goes over that amount, you usually have the option to go ahead and make that decision to make that repair anyway and keep your deal together. Disclosures, a lot of people forget there are some required disclosures by law. If you're selling a condo, there's a required condominium disclosure that gives the buyer the right to inspect your condo docs and have a 2-day rescission period. If there is an older home than 1977 or older, there's a required lead paint disclosure by federal law. Florida law requires you to have a seller's disclosure, disclosing everything that's included, if it's not included, why, and if there's any defects. So these disclosures, some of them are attached. If you're missing any of these because you have an older home or a condo, feel free to give me a call. I'll be glad to provide them at no charge to you. So please look at these forms, study them carefully, call me or see your attorney with any questions, and I look forward to our next training session.